need 5 for a quorum.
5 for a quorum. I guess I get the vote today too.
We have to have.
Alright, we're rolling.
There's 9 people on the board, we have to have 5 to be able to go to the meeting.
Okay, can I have a, no, I need to copy of the, agenda. I need copies here, I can. Oh, there it is. See? Okay, well, that's cool, I can do it. 'Cause I'm no good at doodling. Oh, that's a good doodle.
Ready?
Let's see. Yep, that's okay. Calling this meeting to order, time being, what meeting?
No, sorry.
10:07. Take the roll, please.
You gotta say pledge allegiance or something?
Well, there's a pledge before the, okay, I'm sorry, go
We
ahead.
can all stand for a pledge to the flag.
Thought there's somewhere.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, in liberty and justice for all.
You all may be seated. Okay, Jamie, I'm sorry, you call roll.
Roll call.
Doug Fry here. Phil Boyd up here.
Gary's up here.
David Rich.
Sherry Palmer here.
Dan Harmon here.
Randy Brown.
We have a quorum, Madam Secretary. Good. Okay, any approvals to the agenda? We got Dan's thing under new business.
What thing?
The bylaws.
Okay.
There, we discussed at the last meeting.
Oh, did we
Just not,
discuss
just
it?
under bylaws.
Well, then that comes under old business. Okay, with that being said, I am now taking public comment for the, 5 minutes. I'm gonna change it to 5 minutes. Since we got such a huge crowd and I wanna make this meeting last longer than it should. So you're welcome. It's one time per lot member. You have 5 minutes and, state your name and your lot number. Taking public comment. Doug?
Lot number 72, Doug Fry. A guy from lot 152 named Michael, he, sent me an email and wondered if anybody knows how he could get a trailer towed away. He's willing to pay for it. So
Yep.
I told him on the phone that I would say something at the meeting.
Yep. Give me a, get ahold of me after the meeting, we'll set
Phone
something up.
number, I got his phone number.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Doug?
Phil Boyd, lot 186. I just wanted to recap from the last meeting. There were several complaints made by the committee. Several complaints made, and the committee was formed to address them. One of them was having chickens on the owner's property, which is a violation of our bylaws. The investigative committee was not allowed on the property, and no animals were found. The neighbor, which works and comes up for the weekend to relax, only to be woken up at 5 a.m. by crowing roosters and goats bleating. Also, on hot days, you can smell the farm animals. The committee and the board members dismissed all complaints. So much for our bylaws. Thank you.
Any other public comment? Name and lot number. Good to know. We have passed public comments, okay, approval of the last meeting minutes. Anybody wanna take a couple minutes to kind of go through them?
Real quick before we do that, going
Yes,
back to,
ma'am.
roll call. Melinda is absent due
Oh.
to being in the hospital, and, Roger Damphouse is still stuck in Canada, they won't let him cross the border.
I'd like to,
So I'll make a motion to excuse him.
I'd like somebody to make, well, I guess I can make a motion since I'm part of the board this time. I'm gonna make a motion to excuse both Melinda and Roger due to circumstances. These absences are excused, all the other and Dawn, I'm sorry, Dawn is also an
Dawn.
excused absence. Cause Glenn called me last night about she's having problems, so those three should,
I'll second.
okay, all those in favor, say yes? Yes?
Yeah. Yes.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. I'm sorry, thank you very much, Jamie. Okay, meeting minutes, everybody get an opportunity to look those over.
And our speed readers?
Was I a speed typer?
Yeah, we can only read as fast as you can type.
4.5 hours. 4.5 hours, guys, 4.5 hours.
Well, we're not taking that long.
4.5 hours.
Alright.
Like being on hold without the music.
Place you anything you'd like, but probably like you could hang out.
Sorry.
I'll film.
I will make a motion to accept the minutes as written,
I'll second it.
seconded by Doug Fry. Discussion? All those in favor, say yes? Oh, sorry,
I was reading over Doug's, one for the dam report on that motion. We're gonna do something different with that motion for the, $1,500, Doug. Is that old business? That's
Yeah, for
okay.
dam.
Okay, no, then I'm good with it.
We're just approving the minutes right now.
right, yeah, just approving the minutes. All those in favor of accepting the minutes as written signify by saying yes?
Yes.
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 Yes. Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, well, I guess the only thing I'm going to report on is I know we've had some problem over the winter time with people just cutting out the trees that needed to get their vehicles through, and it's caused, damage to the guy that does the roads here. He wound up losing the blade, and when he backed up, he wound up doing damage on his truck. The front end of these properties, something needs to be done, because as these trees travel into the road and as they're leaning into the road, it makes it very hard for us to maintain the roads, you know, I don't wanna waste a whole lot of money into a roads project for things that, really need to be taken care of by the residents here, or people that own property here. That's number one. Number two, we started noticing that people are starting to run their quads and their your motor stuff around here. And we need to stay on top of it. It's not as bad as it used to be, but I hate to see it go back. And while I was driving on my way here this morning, I guess the other thing I have an issue with, and I will deal with it on my way back, is there's only supposed to be, if you're selling your property, you get one sign in front of your property. There are no lead-in signs, and the reason we got rid of those was because we used to have a lot of break-ins here. Glenn noticed that the break-ins started dropping the minute we started pulling the lead-in signs. Because to the lowlife that would come in here seeking to break into properties, or excuse me, well, we're here just looking to see what's for sale. So we've been able to get rid of that one. Now we can actually pin them down to an address that they're supposed to be going to, because you don't have all these signs showing you down the roads. Other than that, again, I would like to thank the membership for, most everybody has understood the reason why we've had to bump these meetings off, and we appreciate your support and not thinking we're just trying to flagrantly violate the bylaws. Other than that, I have nothing more to say as president, other than thank you all for showing up. And this is another public meeting that people were more than welcome to. We'll take this on later, but Dan and I have talked, we're gonna investigate maybe going back to the township hall for the next couple meetings, providing our illustrious governor does not decide to call another lockdown or everything else. We will play that one by ear. I called the township officials last night. I'm still waiting to hear back from them. Other than that, I am dropping my report ends there. Jamie, secretary.
I really have nothing to report. I've got a couple new, members that I have to send welcome packets to, but other than that, nothing.
Madam Treasurer.
Okay, so I would ask that, I ask now if the board would approve my, report, my financial report.
Why don't we
Maybe.
wait till after you give your financial report?
Oh, sure. So really not, we've gotten a lot of people sending in their dues. We've gotten, quite a bit of, so this is would be the report for the fiscal year end. However, I still have a couple outstanding line items that need to be put in. I've talked to Nan, she's gonna get me, hers, and she's probably used just about all of her budget this year. I believe she needed a new printer or something, right, Nan?
Yeah.
So she probably used most of that budget, so that will come off the bottom line. Also, I have some updates for the roads, so that will come off the bottom line. We have, right now, we've got $21,000 in, late dues. Not including if I still haven't received your dues for this year. I didn't include that in this one, because actually dues aren't due until
The 30th.
the 30th of June, so, but these are the late dues that I haven't been able to collect on. What else do I wanna say? So, yeah, that's about it. I want to let most of you people I know here, so, but there's a lot of new people here, and if you see them or they say that they're new, if you could, like, send them my way or Jamie's way so that I can get their information, address, names. I've had a few people call me that said, I haven't received my, due statement because I sent them to the old owner because I don't have their address. So, that would be helpful, any phone numbers, email addresses, because, I've always mentioned that if you're not at the meeting, you're more than welcome to email me and I'll email you a copy of the financial statements so this is through May. I'd be more than willing to start an email distribution list so that whoever needs it, I can.
I've got a lot of them already. I've got a few
Okay,
started.
good. Yeah, I can send you guys, I can send even the new people because people are asking. I think that's all I have.
Okay,
If I could ask the board to approve,
sure.
thank you.
I will make a motion to approve your treasurer's report. Can I get a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, I got a motion and a second, discussion. I would like to start. I notice we have 30 delinquent properties, is that correct?
Yes. Oh, so
Oh.
far, this is not including current dues.
Well, no, and,
These numbers here include current dues, but if I haven't received Jamie's dues, she's not on this list
okay.
yet. But I received it, so.
Okay, yeah, no, well, I guess the reason I'm asking is, you know, I remember, board meetings back, this was usually a 2-page report, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
and it's better, and there's, so,
And I've got, let's see, if I, 1, 2, 3 of them that are 4-digit numbers, and
So
not Northern Michigan accounting.
no, but I can give you answers to those. 028, that's gonna be, a lien's gonna be put on that property. 050B's, a lien's gonna be put on that property. And 96A, I'm giving this guy another couple of chances to get a hold of me, and then,
Okay. I mean, yeah, you've got 3 of them that are that high.
and the reason being is, once you get over, really these 880s, I really need to start working on that, because what happens is, these numbers still keep accumulating, and then what I'm doing is I'm spending money out of the budget to have a server go serve papers, and so each time that server goes to the house and you don't answer, I have to pay for that. So, then what I have to do is, if they don't open the door after the second time, then I've got to go back to the court, ask the judge if we can have, service without the person being there. So now this serving company's gotta go back, I've gotta pay for that. So, that's it, I'm stopping at that, and I'm just gonna have to put a lien on the property. The problem with the lien on the property is that could go into eternity. You pass your property down to your family members, unless the family member says, oh, I'll pay it, but otherwise, that's it. And some of these properties, 028, 050B, they have nobody there.
How much do you pay for, have someone serve?
Depending on where they live, between $14 and $28.
Okay.
Okay, the other question I have is, that usually gets tacked into.
Absolutely, it gets tacked onto their, what they owe.
So it's not like you're just throwing money out to the wind, there is a possibility of recouping the
Correct.
service costs.
Yes, yes.
So I would like to state well, I'll go on my behalf, and anybody else that wants to second this, I appreciate the job that you and Roy have done to get, I mean, we're down to roughly 10%, that's 30 properties. This is the best it's ever been, so thank you very much for your diligence, and appreciate you going there.
Thank
A lot-
you as well.
You're welcome. A lot of times the letter that I send, usually that helps, they'll send me their check. If I send them a letter letting them know they're going to court, I usually get a check. But these big ones, those are not, I know there's a few more other than the ones in the thousands, but,
There's a few more,
well, like, so I've got, I've got a couple of 880s, 945. So, the 945, that person just pays me a little bit at a time. That's why it's such an odd number, but.
okay, but, well, overall, it's still, you know, people have been complaining about paying the road dues and everything else because, well, you're not collecting these funds, well, we're getting closer. And since the board has voted at the last couple meetings not to allow this to go on to where it crosses over the $1,000 threshold, we're doing a lot better. We are starting to catch ground on this, so, again, thank you.
You're welcome.
And, you gave the treasurer's report, and anything else in the treasurer's report, I'll let you save the other thing we talked about until we
Okay,
come up with.
for the road.
Yes, ma'am. Anything else, Sherry? Or
No.
can I move on from there?
Can we get do we get a second for
We
this?
got it, yeah.
Okay,
Randy.
so,
Oh, I'm sorry, did we vote on it? No, I'm sorry, no, been discussion. Thank you, Jamie. All those in favor of accepting the treasurer's report, say yes.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries.
and they're here if anybody wants a copy.
Okay, now we are down to committee reports, so I guess we will start with Dan. Bylaws.
Bylaws, Nan, you have the, one from, Debbie Nemeth.
Yes, and I can't open it. I mean, I can open it, but I can't copy it. I would have to retype everything.
Do you need me to retype it and send it?
Do you want me to retype it or
You
what?
probably type faster than I do, but you'll have, it's gotta be, when do we,
Can she send it in a different format?
well, we did, well, that was a scan off of the phone, she had it just typed out on paper, which I have right here behind me.
Well, can you scan it, and email it?
That's what we did,
Or,
That's what they did.
we scanned
Do
it,
you have that? Okay, I'll type it.
I do, I can see that, I got the folder right behind me, I'll get that to you.
That
right
needs to be
after the
to
meeting.
by the 28th.
Yeah.
Everything's gotta be, that was my next question, everything's gotta be into the 28th. And I'm gonna need some signatures for my bylaws change for, in extenuating circumstances, postponing a general membership meeting. Okay. Still working on the verbiage, I'm a little leery about damaging the bylaws a little bit by doing that, so I wanna get it right, but I shall have that into you by the 28th.
and we can discuss that under new business, cause I've got things I wanna mention on that as well.
Okay. Okay, that's all the bylaws have.
Okay. Citizens Watch, Glenn didn't say anything when he talked to me yesterday, did he mention anything to you, Sherry?
No.
Okay,
He did
so,
mention something to me.
Okay.
oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Apparently somebody feels it's okay to go into the parcel boxes and steal people's packages, so we're having an issue with that again. So if you're a full-time resident, keep an eye on your mailbox.
Really?
Yep.
Maybe get a camp down
Okay,
Can we put a camera on? Are we allowed to?
there. You could, you risk losing it, but
Yeah.
you could.
okay. Doug, Dan report.
So far, we got one proposal from Roy. Well, what happened is I told him I'm getting burned out. So anyway, Jamie come up with 120 engineers. So far, out of the 120, Phil has got a return on 2, Roy has got a return on 2, and the guys from Alpena that I've been dealing with, they finally yesterday told me that they're gonna have a proposal for rebuilding the spillway, which is supposed to be here next week. And then Roy has one more guy coming next Monday at 2 o'clock, and one guy come last Tuesday at 10 or 10:30. He was running late and he called. He's supposed to have a proposal for it.
I'm gonna have one too. The guy in
And then, yeah,
Pontiac.
and Dan, yeah. So, the cans are coming along pretty good. I probably got another $200 worth at the house now. It's not a big thing, but the last couple times I loaded the truck, went up there and the can machines are, well, they weren't down, there's nobody picked up the ones that it's already crushed. So, no, keep them coming, I guess, other than, we're doing our best to come up with some kind of solution for the dam, and what I just suggested the last time was about the $1,500 that you got 10% that behind in dues, and you got another probably 15 or 20% is probably not gonna contribute to the whole amount. So, I mean, get ready, cause we're gonna need some money for this dam. I hope that maybe we get a grant, but, yeah, don't, wish in one hand and do what in the
Yeah,
other, if
yeah.
you know what I mean?
Doug, you have $12,000 in the dam account.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that,
She's got more deposit today.
And that's just for
hopefully,
donations.
hopefully we can get a couple proposals out, cause most of them want money to give us a proposal. The one that Roy come out here, he was 20 to 30,000 to run the job. You know, to draw it and do it. Where Jim Tiffany before, back in '99, he wanted 20, but you know, everything has gone up. So that's, yeah, any questions?
I'd like to add to that, being on your committee. So, in the treasurer's report, we have retained earnings of $19,000. That's old money, so that's not including anything for new revenue. So with that $12,000 there, I'm also seeing, in the reserves, 4754. It's my understanding that it's supposed to be about 10. I mean, obviously there's 10 there between the two, we have the reserve and whatnot. I'd like to see that one bring up to that, but then that leaves roughly $14,000. Plus the dam money, we're in the ballpark for the field work. We're in the ballpark, we're there. The guy I'm talking with in Pontiac, he's actually sounded like he's willing to, he doesn't wanna have to do the whole thing up front, so we could actually he would do like 2 portions of the field work without actually going into the full engineering part of it, which, you know, if we decide to go with somebody else, that company would do that, and we would still have the field work done. From 2 of the people I've talked with, this field work is good for about 2 to 3 years. So we'll have that, and we just have to see what Eagle's gonna say when we get our dam inspection next year. It's my understanding from the pictures that I've sent out of the leak in it, that we're not gonna pass. That's my understanding of that. That's what I'm hearing. And they have a procedure for that once that happens.
The people in Alpena their proposal is to design replacing the spillway. Now, I don't know how much they were out here after the dam meeting that we had last time, and they looked and about boring this, boring that. I don't know if that's in there or not. I don't know whether they have to bore some to replace the dam spillway or not. But I would imagine there's a coffer dam involved or drain the lake, one or the other. So. And anybody's welcome to come to the dam meeting. There's, I don't know, 9 of us on the committee, and it's usually in my garage.
There's 16 of us, there was just 9 of us at the last meeting.
That's what?
There's 16 of us, but there was only 9 of us at the last meeting.
Oh, okay.
And since it's an open meeting, it doesn't matter how many board members are there to attend,
Correct.
because it is considered an open meeting.
It's a committee meeting. Yeah.
It's a committee meeting, correct.
So there's
Really
no
clear on that.
violation to anybody out there that wants to infer it. There is no violation to the Open Meetings Act.
One more thing, I mean, I asked in the newsletter, I put my phone number and my email address in there, you know, somehow to finance this thing. And nobody ever comes up with no idea. I mean, I don't wanna spend $1,500 if I don't have to, but so far I feel with the 3 raffles, with the deck of cards, the 2 cornhole boards and the chairs, that was $1,560 and a couple thousand in cans, so already I've raised $3,500.
Jimmy?
We're going to be doing the pig roast, but we're trying to figure out when, and I have somebody that is doing a chainsaw carving for us to raffle off.
Yeah, I mean, Jamie and then Todd and Tammy they helped, Debbie probably come up with $2 grand, close to that, with her garage sales and in her calendar. So, yeah, somebody else can come up with some kind of ideas, let us know. Alright, thank you.
We have a lot of local businesses too that are gonna give off gift cards for the
Donations for,
raffles off.
we're gonna do a raffle. Oh, that's cool.
That's a good idea.
Jamie, elections.
Shoot, was it 5 people for our re-election
Yep,
this year?
5.
Okay, so
Yeah,
we're
right.
for re-election, let me find my paper real quick, sorry. I forgot about that.
I saw it on here, you mentioned
It
the
was
5
in, yeah,
of us.
but it's easier to see.
Yeah, let's count with
Okay,
5.
Gary, are you gonna rerun?
Yes, I will rerun.
Roger said he would rerun. They're opening the Canadian border July 21st.
Okay, good.
Maybe, maybe.
Okay,
Doug, do you plan on rerunning? For the
No.
board?
No,
No, okay.
I got enough to do with
Okay.
brings another body to the meeting.
Okay, Randy, are you gonna rerun?
Yeah, I believe so.
Thank you.
And Melinda still has not, responded back on whether she's going to, but she did post on social media that she was not, but I'm not taking that for her word
No,
until
that's
she
fine.
No,
sends
you're
me
not.
a
Can you
response.
take new people as well?
No, new people have to be here, general membership meeting, and they have to be in good standings 30 days prior to the board meeting.
You will be here, right?
Yeah, I'll be here.
And your dues are paid, right?
Yes, they are.
Great. Thank you.
But that's all I have.
Lakes.
I think we have a late guy here.
No.
We don't have a late guy here, but it's the same report as last time. We have the budget, he did a treatment, one treatment so far, that's all I've got. I did have, somebody call me or message me complaining that he cannot get to his dock because the lily pads are, and he treats it in front of his property himself. Several $1,000s worth of chemicals and stuff, and it's choking it off even worse. So, we need to figure out something with this lake too.
Newsletter. Yeah.
I
Oh, I'm sorry, did you?
I had a question for, no, it's Parks, I'm sorry, never mind. My bad.
Nan,
Okay, newsletter articles due the 28th,
that will be Monday next week.
period.
And
Do not send them late.
No,
Mine's already
and that's
typed.
fine, on
I gotta
time
get you
or not
something
at
from the
all.
investigative.
Good for
too,
you,
I think
Dad.
that- you made that.
I mean, if it's not in
We
on
have
the
2 days,
28th,
they're doing 2 days.
it's not
Not
going
2
in.
days. Is it 2 days?
We have 2 days till the newsletter
Today's the
articles have to
26th,
be
buddy.
in.
Oh, I'm sorry. I
Really?
was thinking this
28th,
was
that's
last
Monday.
week. My fault. Okay.
I got work to do.
Yeah, well, the whole reason is we have to have it in, or out in time to be 30 days before
Nope,
the
that's good.
GMF.
But yeah,
I'm sorry, Monday.
so we got
Monday it
5
is.
weeks.
And that gives me time to be able to put it together and mail it.
That's
and-
Monday, she'll have it Monday.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Nan. Anything else?
Sorry.
Nope, that's good. You're,
I mean, we had talked about this.
yes,
Yes,
no.
we did.
Yeah, we did. Well, as I told you, you and I had discussed on the phone. It is what it is. You get them in. If you don't have them in, they're just not going in.
Yeah, kinda like
End of
what we
story.
did last time.
Yep. Okay, thank you. All right, Jamie, Parks.
Only thing I have is we're doing the picnic August 21st.
What?
Anything else to add?
21st.
Good. Wow. Okay.
I had a question on Parks.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I had,
Possible
I
answer.
had, yes, I had a member call about putting boats over on the peninsula.
Yes, we discussed this.
We did? but
Yeah,
wanted
you and
to
I
put it
did.
here.
Yep, so, anybody that wants to leave a boat in the water is fine to do so on this side of the peninsula. If you're leaving it out of the water, we ask that you put it on that side of the peninsula, running alongside the shoreline so it does not interfere with us mowing.
Okay.
Or you can leave them over at the little boat launch, your choice.
That was the message I left him,
Yep.
I'll call him back. Yep.
Okay, we are there. Sherry Dawn.
Yes, this is Dawn, she's not here, so she asked me to give her, report. So, in the packet I have, the roads expense is a little bit off. So Dawn and I spoke this morning and I have the updates to that. Right now, her summer budget, was at, or is at $9,830. Her winter budget, this is what she spent, $6,945, and she's done $12,000 in improvements. So she's at $28,929.75, leaving her with $1,070.25 left on her $30,000 budget. Two things, she has received Ed's contract for the new fiscal year for roads. She's gotten no other ones, and he has not raised his costs at all.
I'm
And she
surprised.
would like to go with that. And also, yeah, he didn't raise his price at all. And then, she also got, one proposal, for, brush hogging, bid for brush hogging, for $4,000. And she would like to also go with this, she would like the board to approve this so that she can get this taken care of this, whenever you do it, this summer, I guess.
Yeah.
And
Do you have a price on the contract for Dan?
for Ed,
I mean, Ed,
no, she did not give me that, it's the same as last year. We
Okay.
should have it, but yeah, it has not changed at all.
well then, I will make a motion to allow Dawn to use Ed, since that's the only bid she's gotten, for continuing on the roads.
I second that.
Okay, I got a motion and a second, I'm opening it to discussion. Randy, it looks like you got something you wanna say.
Yeah, Ed's had the contract, and, you know, it should be fair, we should get at least 3, proposals.
3
We
bids.
should have at least 3. Eddie, Jake Petty, and someone else.
From what I'm understanding, from what Sherry said, and correct me if I'm wrong, Sherry, she sent out bids,
Correct,
correct?
she only got
Oh,
his back.
okay, they sent out-
And Ed's the only one that responded
Yeah,
back.
they,
You can't, I mean, it's like the township calling Mitchell.
right, yep.
The only people that respond back is a company called Pain in the Grass, whoever they are.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you know, what can you do?
We've gave Randy the contract, he's had it since he was 18 years old. He's doing the roads in here.
Jake doesn't want anything to do with this establishment at all. He will not even put a bid in on this place. He's already said it. Jake.
It's
He
just
has
board
put bids
right
in
now.
already, and
This-
he
this
never
is
gets
just-
them, so,
Board discussion.
Yeah. alright, that's fine.
Any other board members want to have a comment on this before we take the vote on the,
No.
contract?
Just slow down,
I'm sorry, Dick.
slow down.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay, all those in favor except keeping Ed's bid to the same price it was last year, signify by, you know what, since you brought up the fact that
Yes.
nobody understood that there was a contract,
Right.
I'm gonna ask for a, roll call vote on this one.
Okay.
Doug Fry, yes. Bill Boyd, yes.
Gary Vanuk, yes.
Dan Harmon, yes.
Randy Brown, yes.
Okay, on that one, I will let, Dan, would you like to make the proposal on the next one?
Brush hogging.
Unless you're gonna speak against it, then I'll have to have somebody else. speak.
No,
Okay,
I would motion that we do the brush hogging for $4,000 per the bid.
I will second that motion.
Yeah, we need it bad,
Okay, at this point, I'm going to take discussion.
we need it bad.
Anybody have,
I think $4,000 is great.
Yeah, it's fair.
I mean, that's yeah, God knows what the poor guy's gonna hit.
I think the last time we did it, it was like $3,000, and that was 20 years ago.
Well, we just did it 4 or 5 years ago, and I think it was
They came
3,500 or
in.
something like that, so it's right around the ballpark.
Yeah.
The cost increase of fuel and everything.
okay, I'm gonna be the squeaky wheel on this one. I kinda struggle with that. I know, like Doug, myself, a lot of people that live here, we maintain the front end of our properties. So to be using, you know, people, in my opinion, need to maintain that front footage. You know, as part of being a property owner.
Yeah, but they're not.
Alright.
Well,
This isn't for, I'm sorry, you know, this is the board discussion, cause we're gonna vote on it.
yeah.
On that note, I am just making that statement, it's like, I know the price is good, I understand that. I struggle with the principle of voting that way, and that's my comment. Is there any other discussion, because?
I got a comment that Johnny's place down there at the Beaver Dam, that them brushes, it scratched my truck once when I had it. I'm about to go down there with a chainsaw, you know, but I was gonna ask him first. I don't mind cutting it,
No.
but
He's
I
cut it
can't
back
catch it,
some.
huh?
He's cut it back some, it was a lot worse. It was a lot worse.
Well, I can't notice it, and I am. Well, she goes by it every day too.
Well, regardless, I live across from it, and, again, I'm gonna say, this is the thing, and then Dawn and Glenn are always picking up trees that fall in the road.
Right.
Or they're going out to address trees, and that becomes, and Dawn has been usually pretty loose on it. But, sometimes they do charge for it, so this stuff comes out of the common road budget.
Right.
So I guess what I am trying to express, and I'm not saying I'm not for doing this, but I think there's a principle involved. We're all landowners.
Right.
If you live downstate, you'd be required generally to keep your sidewalks clear, even though you really don't own them.
Right.
If they're breaking, you're required to clean them.
Right.
Up here where you're coming for Lake in the Greens, if we don't maintain the roads, there's no electricity coming down here, and you don't have to worry about the dam because unless you're planning on walking into the lake, you're not gonna see it. And just, not maintaining that first 15 feet of your property, and I've talked to the guy, that does the roads, he said, that is the reason why the roads up here are real slippery, because people do not clear cut back that property. The sun never hits it. Dawn keeps saying, if we were to cut that property back and the sun could hit these roads, our roads budget would be a lot better. The roads might be more navigable. So that's all I'm gonna say.
Like even my road is turning into a one-lane road. And there's a few other roads like that, so I'm all for this.
The safety reasons around corners too.
Yeah.
Really around, we all went around a couple of years ago, and.
Yeah.
And we trimmed them with some of that's coming back now. It cost me a pair of glasses, I think microphone and life. Yeah, it needs to be done. But as far as the bylaws, Gary, as far as the maintenance on.
I know. I'm
It's not spelled out that way.
I
No
know.
laws, and it should be done. I got a couple corners, I got some around my corner, the corner right by Northwood over there. I need to get there and do that.
I'm just,
Trees, it's gonna happen, with the roads, I'd really like to, if that comes in and there's trees down, then he needs to call Dawn and say, look, we gotta clear it first. Don't try and do them while there's trees laying all down, or you're gonna damage your truck, you can't hit trees.
Well, we had that first storm in December, you
I
didn't have a
know,
choice.
I know.
You had no
Clean stuff out.
anyways, I think we pretty much discussed this until it's dead. I'd like a roll call vote on this one too, please.
Doug, yes.
Phil Boyd, yes.
Gary Van Hook, no.
Dan Harmon, yes.
Randy Brown. Yeah, I guess so.
Dan twisting Randy's arm. Just kidding.
Yeah, right.
Oh, no, I didn't.
All right,
Mine's done.
that covers the roads,
Yes.
Sherry, thank you. And, yeah, Dawn would be here, she's very good about showing up. Just extenuating circumstances, and I'll leave it at that.
He's very sick.
No, I just wanna leave it at that, this is public. Anybody here from Wildlife?
Are you gonna record or do I have to do it again?
Got bears.
Go ahead.
She's my interpreter.
Oh,
The only thing I really have to report is the predators have been,
Raccoons on my knee there.
the predators have been super dominant in our area lately. Just the other day, we had a bear chase our dog. Or I should say our dog chased a bear. She went out into the woods and she chased it out to the road edge and then chased it back into the woods. People on Facebook, they're not posting pictures of deer and other wildlife. It's all predators. So be very vigilant when you're out there in the woods and take your feeders down at night so that they don't come in. Keep all food sources away for them so that you don't have a problem. That's it.
That's it, so.
I got a comment.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. The other day, about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I heard a crash and bang, and there went the feeders on, that hang up there, and down there, that old bear got one bite out of the suet before I run him off. I got a video, if anybody wants to watch it.
All right, I'm gonna go to old business and, we're gonna bring up Dan's bylaw change. So I'd like,
I'll tell you, now we got 2 days, that means I got 2 days to get the signatures and then to get the verbiage right on that, Gary. I'm leery about doing it, I really am. I mean, we know why we wanna do that here, but I don't know what that could spell out later down the road.
well, you know, I thought about what you had to say a lot. And I can correlate it to what goes on in this country today, you know, they're talking about we're needing term limits for Congress and the Senate and everything else. There are term limits. As people getting off their butt and saying, you know what, I ain't putting up with this guy anymore, and he's gone. You know, we're putting in a change because it caused a real problem. The responsibility of putting bad people on the board are the people sitting out there, or in this case, the people not sitting out there. You know, that's where the problem gets to be.
It was just a couple members who had said something about it, we're through it, we had legal advice on it. If we leave it the same, that would have to happen again. I mean, he hasn't sent me a bill for what he did. He sent me an email, I talked with him on the phone, he has not sent me a bill. Dan White can take a little bit to do that, but I mean, if it was a half hour, you could do it as needed. I think we have enough money. I'm kinda leaning more towards leaving them the way they are, as far as this goes. If we run into, I mean, 3 years ago, we said we're having a global pandemic, everyone laughing. I said, well, you know, like that's ever gonna happen. But, you know, I mean, obviously, if the township hall burns down, you know, we're gonna have to do something different, or we'll pull up tables and do it in the field. Or we put a sign to come here. If we can't gather, and it's gonna be on the news, and then we could seek the legal advice that way. I'm kinda leaning towards just leaving them the way they are. I really am. I thought it was a good idea at first, but like I said, I don't know what it opens up the door to later down the road. That's my concern.
You're relying basically on just common sense. If
You know,
something
that's
happens-
it, Phil. That's what I really think on it. I mean, I know some people were opposed to us postponing the meetings, but we didn't do. We didn't have a place to meet. You know, we tried the Zoom last year, it didn't work, we didn't retry it. I think we should probably explore that option a little bit more. There's probably gonna be about 20 million computers for sale soon, once the kids are all done with them, cause pretty much every kid in the country got one.
We never tried Zoom, we tried a call,
Just a conference
just a
call?
conference call. We never tried a
Well, Zoom, you gotta pay for it too.
Zoom
You'd
you
have to
have to
set
pay
it,
for,
you'd
that's
have
why
to
we
pay
didn't
for
do
it.
Zoom.
You get 40 minutes free and that's it, so, I mean.
And then you'll be getting, I mean, and this is the same thing the board of, you know, people are screaming about with the board of commissioners. Since they've restricted access to the county building, you know, people that don't have internet can't attend the meeting. And maybe you can call in and get on the phone, but things don't always work well in that respect either. So, you know, and I have to say, you and I've talked about this, and I don't think I'm sharing anything I can't. This board has gotten seems to be, people believe and understand that we're doing things in their best interest. You know, they're not saying, oh, well, this board is trying to, you know, except for maybe a few squeaky members, we are not being accused of doing things back. So I like the fact that we're having these meetings and we're having them where people are welcome to come. But, you know, to me, I think we need the leeway in there so it's not so black and white, because that may be Dan's opinion this time, and, you know, maybe a couple years down the road, it may be somebody else's opinion that, oh no, you got to hell or high water, that meeting has to happen. I mean, I'm
If it
just.
can't happen, if it can't happen, it can't happen. I mean, that's it. We couldn't gather, and we didn't have a means of getting the board together, open to the membership.
I understand
In the
that,
spring.
and those of us
We
with
maybe should be a little
common
more,
sense.
that's kind of where I'm thinking that maybe over this year, but maybe by the end of the year, we could try and put something together that we could do that. I mean, they do it, I actually sat on a couple down in Garden City. You could type in questions to their mediator that was reading them out to people, and, you know, I haven't into the technical aspect of doing all that, but, you know, we're opening back up now. You know,
As I said, I just, you know, I notice how quick things change. That's my only concern. Anybody else? I know Dan and I have occupied most of the territory. Anybody else on the board got anything?
I don't know, like I say, just let them ride. You know, it's just common sense. And it seems they have a real hard problem with, even like this year, the board's been having to do a lot of footwork for just common sense and good neighborly consideration for your neighbors and stuff. And we've been out there wiping these guys' noses all the time. I don't know who's doing it now, but, you know, it's like cleaning up the property. I understand nobody wants to pay for someone else's property that you do yourself
Well, you know,
at your house.
on that note, let me put something to you, because this is the thing that really ticked me off. I did talk to Dawn on roads. She had a logger that was willing to come in and clean up the front end of people's property. All they wanted was the wood.
Right.
You know what the resident people that own the property wanted? They wanted to be paid for that wood. Yeah. So, I mean, you know, you gotta struggle in mentality.
Technically, there's an easement, 33 foot from the center of the road in, on both sides.
Right.
That's,
That should be cleared out.
there's nobody has a say in that, sorry.
It's okay. I'll let you have that for the last public comment. I think we'd be, okay, I mean, Dan, you're the bylaws chairman. I trust you to do the right, you know, whatever you do the right thing, I'll back you on it.
I think we should leave them the way they are. I'm more worried about damaging them later down the road, Gary. The more I've asked for opposition with other members around, and I've gotten a little bit of it, and I'm hearing it, and that's, I think if the same thing were to happen next year, we would have to do the same thing. What choice would we have? Other than that, so, like Phil said, it's kind of common sense there, and I don't think we actually need to go through and do a physical change.
Is there anything under new business?
No.
So I'll probably withdraw that from, I know we put it in the last newsletter,
So all we're gonna be putting in the newsletter
as
is
dumb Nemes change.
Deb Newman's change. Any comments on that, Mr. Bylaws Chairman? What do you think of the,
It's asking for financials in the newsletter. I guess we used to do it, didn't we? Kinda, or sort of.
What we used to do, maybe once a year, we would do, a financial, and for the most part, every other, financial statement was past dues. So it was done
Delinquencies.
once.
and you couldn't do that because it would cause some type of public shaming or something?
Well, the way we did it, it was not, done in a public shaming way, it was just by
But I mean,
lot number.
everybody
Right.
knew.
It was by lot number, yeah. That was my understanding. So my question is how many pages will that consist of in the newsletter?
Well, it's reduced, but I'm gonna say that I don't agree with it. There's $60,000 that I'm responsible for, and that's gonna be out there to the public. If that newsletter gets lost, my name is in there, they know I have access to that. I would prefer that it's not in the newsletter. I'm open to sending, an email distribution list to every single person that
Right.
doesn't come to the meeting that wants the financials. I don't have a problem with that. I do have a problem with it being in the open mail, when mail is,
Gets
I'm
lost.
sorry, what was your name? I didn't. Julie. Julie didn't get the newsletter, so where's hers? Floating around somewhere with the financials in it, and my name and address.
Well, I used to do a newsletter for, a gun club, and they took their online, version, they took the financials out. But when it went to the membership, they got the financials.
So, yeah, Dan, I guess when this bylaw is going into the newsletter, can we kind of put both sides as to why we would
Well,
want?
the treasurer can write a report to the newsletter, you do that anyway, don't you? Okay, you can
Okay.
state your
No.
opinion, you can state your opinion in there.
That's fine, then would you please do that?
I
Yeah,
mean,
2
from a
days.
bylaw standpoint, whoever's done it, they've done it properly, so it's now up to the membership, because they followed the proper channels to make such change, so the membership will decide when they vote.
Yeah, so.
My
we'll have-
other thing was, so if there's like 2 or 3 pages of financials, does that add cost to the newsletter?
Oh, it would, but.
Yeah.
Every single
Printing.
page put in.
So that's,
But what I can send you what we used to do,
Okay,
and it was just a one column thing. It was
and I
not-
remember
Yeah,
when
skip
I
it.
remember seeing the delinquents in the newsletter. That's how I knew when we took over the property that we have, that we owed a couple $1,000s, right?
doesn't
So,
bother them.
Yeah,
Yeah, that stopped being put in a few years ago.
yeah. Mhm. I know, it. I
Okay.
did.
You can-
So, but I can send you a
Madam
copy
Treasurer,
of,
you can state your opinion in the newsletter on there, get the pros and cons from it, so. From the bylaw
so, but we would
standpoint,
have to
I've
put
gotta
an
present it.
absentee ballot in the newsletter
Yes,
in order to have people be able to vote on it. They can't vote on, the actual,
and Dan, in that, when you send that out,
board
they're
members.
supposed to send that to bylaws, right? So
Vote
they're
on
gonna send it to
bylaws.
you,
Okay.
or do they
Yes,
send
we're
it
gonna
to
send
second?
it to you, and then I gotta check with her for delinquency, whether or not they're in good standing.
So they're
for
sending,
an absentee
they're
ballot.
sending you the absentee ballots.
And then I will turn those
And then
over
you'll
to
turn
you
them
up
over
the
to
day
me,
of it,
okay.
yes,
Okay.
at the
And I'll
GM.
send you the
So,
copy
yes.
of
Yeah, I'm gonna need it before the day of though, cause I have to have my tallies for the votes.
I'm probably gonna set the cutoff for the end of July.
Okay.
For those to be mailed in.
I'm gonna go public comment for 5 minutes. Again, name and lot number, and I'm opening it up, and if you go over a couple minutes, I think I'm about to break a record for meeting times.
Okay, all our meetings are like this.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, my name is Julie McKay, and we recently bought
And
lot
lot number,
217.
thank you.
Okay.
Okay,
So we are new. The things you guys are discussing is new information to me, so if you don't mind, I have some questions about a few
you
of those
can
things.
ask those
If-
after the meeting, this is public comment.
Okay, all right. Then I will,
Or you can state the things you're concerned about, but
Go ahead, ask him.
Yeah, let's hear about it.
Go ahead.
well, I just, you were talking about the brush hogging, what does it entail? I mean, like I said, I'm a new property owner, most of my property along the road frontage is clear, it's
then they
mowed.
won't be.
Then
doing
they
that.
won't
But there
stop by
is,
yours,
there
yeah.
are some areas, because it does go along a
That,
couple
well,
roads.
they will touch those,
Okay,
3 to 4 feet off the shoulder of the road,
Mm-hmm.
that's typical.
okay?
okay,
Yep.
cause I don't think the
Yeah.
previous homeowners
Probably didn't.
did
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
Okay. Next question, I noticed in some areas of the association, the road, it has been sprayed with something, I think.
Yes,
PFAS.
you can order dust control.
How do
Yeah.
you do that?
I got this number at the house, they're in Alpena, CNS,
I have it right
Dust
here.
control.
whatever.
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll give it to you at the meeting,
After the
next
meeting,
question.
That's fine, yep. And then there was mention that there, and I thought I read it in the bylaws, there's another boat launch other than this one?
There's
Over
three.
that way.
Down there.
There's one over here, there's this one here, and then there's one on a little lake.
How do you find out where those are exactly?
Well,
After the meeting, after the meeting?
Yeah, I got it, I'll put it
Yeah.
in a map.
After the meeting,
After
alright.
the meeting.
And
Next,
then the last thing that I was just going to mention, your discussion about delinquent dues notification, just a thought, comment as a recent property transfer. We bought a property from somebody that we were not related to, so it was an actual property sale. But, one of the questions that I had as the buyer is I asked, are the dues current? Because I didn't wanna buy it and then find out there's a whole bunch of delinquent dues.
It's
And
supposed to be
so
taken
just
care of when it-
wondering if there's no, there's no or assessment on the taxes or anything like that for it, other than somebody asking the question, and I think the title company at my request contacted you, Sherry, How would somebody, do they normally contact you?
I have a few title companies that they know me, they contact me, they send me a form. They will even send the new homeowners a form that they fill out for myself, and then they'll mail it to me. But we've had so many people new that I have no idea who they are. They don't have a bill for the current dues. So it's almost like word of mouth, oh, there's new people on
Well, that's,
Reva's property that I don't know who they are.
that's what I was wondering, as the sellers were using a title company in this area, we used a title company downstate, so there were two title companies
August, you
involved.
should get a tax bill.
Right, right.
and that'll
So
take-
anyway, just the thought of it, when you're thinking about those dues and how to notify people that there are delinquent dues or putting that information out there publicly, just a thought, when these properties transfer. I feel like if I had asked my title company to contact you about the dues, I don't know if that would have been done.
Right.
Well, the thing is that's the responsibility of both the buyer and the seller. I mean, you need to find out, you need to know this is an association. You need to know that there are dues and, we can't do everything. It's like, somebody was all ticked off because they wanted their welcome package, and it's like, we don't sit at the Register of Deeds office, this is a non-paid board.
Right, right. Well, I got mine, so thank you.
I was gonna ask, did the title company, did they have you initial anything for the, bylaws and building and usage in your closing? I'm just curious.
They gave us a copy, I think. but
Did they? Good.
But I don't think they had us.
Which
sign.
title company did you use?
We used one, down it's Owasso, a little town.
It's happened where it slips through,
Yeah.
and somebody doesn't have it, it's happened.
We
so
did get one, and
I actually think we have a couple new people who might have did a private sale, and that's when it slips through the cracks.
Any other public comment at this time? Good. Motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All
Oh,
those
next meeting before you get
Oh,
that far.
whoa.
Next meeting is
Yes.
August 7th, correct?
Right.
Yes, August.
10 a.m. here.
Oh, let's back up, one piece of new business, I'm sorry. Real quick, cause I almost got this thing done in less than an hour.
Almost.
Dan, I'd like to make a motion that we try, if possible, should we move this to the Mitchell Township Hall? I would like to make a motion, if possible, we do that. Can I have a second?
Yeah, I'll second it.
Randy Brown seconds. Okay, this is discussion. Anybody want me not to do that? Or-
Why does
I
that
don't wanna
matter?
create a confusion, because everything was.
I
I was
agree.
gonna say, we
I
just
agree, we
found
have 2
what
days,
if-
you have 2 days to get it in the newsletter, I didn't realize we had 2 days, Gary.
Okay, well, you called me last night. and
I
asked me,
understand,
and
that's because I have to listen,
Every member got
the
it.
treasurer wasn't too happy
Okay,
about the.
all those in favor, yes? Opposed?
We're
No?
already on here, it says pavilion, let's leave it, cause we have 2 days, if we cannot find out in 2 days, then I'm
See,
opposed.
that was simple enough, Dan. We voted, it's done. End of discussion. Now, adjournment, motion.
No, wait a
Second.
minute, one more.
What? Oh,
Quit rushing everybody.
I just lost my hour.
Okay,
We're
1
here,
hour
we're
and
here
1 minute.
because it's volunteer.
Yep.
Stop damn rushing everybody.
I didn't rush anybody yet, just at the end.
No,
before-
yeah, that's goodness, yes.
Go ahead,
No
Doug, what
wonder
did
I
you
don't
need?
want, huh?
Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Doug.
I would suggest that you stop rushing everybody.
No.
You give them the idea that why do I wanna come to a meeting? I never get to talk.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Doug.
I'm done.
Oh. All right. I don't care if anybody wants to make a motion or adjourn, or we can stay here for another.
I motion we adjourn.
I'll second that motion.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Good. Thank you very much for all showing up. I'm glad to see, well, we kept these open, so if anybody's got any
Meeting's always
complaints.
open, always open.
I will say sometimes it's kind of misleading when you can speak and not speak. Sometimes it's nice to elaborate at the time when stuff's going on.
Well, when you got,
But when you guys are here and it's board related, and we don't really, it goes on so much, it's not specific to just taking this to board talk. So
Julie, do you have a
sometimes
smartphone?
people want to elaborate.
I agree.
I can forward, if you wanna give me your number, I'll text you a copy of.
Well, you know, the only problem is,
By messenger or something.
the only
think-
problem
yeah, I
is
think
if
we
you
did.
open
I think we
this up
emailed,
to
I was just about to
everybody.
look and see, I remember he bought the cabin over there on Foothill Court, yes.
That's
Oh, you got one, there it is,
I always have
perfect.
It could get
So we
way
are
out of
currently
hand.
right here. The little lake is right here, so you go 2 roads up and take a right.
That might help
And
you,
it,
that's
It's
all.
on your way
it's on the
back.
left hand side.
So,
And you didn't,
So if you come, yeah, when you leave here, we are over here, you'll come out, it's the same way I come in too, is you go to Woodland.
when's your next dam?
So you can either come up Woodland here, so if you pass Woodland,
well, I
yeah, you
don't
came
know,
in,
to tell you the
you're up,
truth,
you are,
lot
well,
72 on
kind of, well, we're over here, you're right there.
Oh, you up here full time now? Oh, okay.
So do you come in on Westlake Circle when you normally come in? So if you were to go on, if you were to,
Yeah, I just
here's
missed
how you
it.
come in. So you would pass that one and go to the next one, which is Eastlake, and it's that first left right there. Or on the way back, you skip Woodland and turn, make a right on Eastlake, and you'll see it right there. It's a big, you kind of can't, it's kind of a hill and then it goes way down right there. And then if you go out of here, when you're going out of the park right here, instead of going left over the bridge, you would make a right and come back around, and then you'll pass a couple houses, you'll see a big nice one on the right, and then right on the other side of that, you'll see boat launch. It says it right out by the
That's
road.
this,
That would be, no, the East Lake's on the way back. There's 2 boat launches on this lake here. So you got, this is where we're at. And then that's the launch over there. And then this is the other one.
Oh, God, you're asking the wrong guy, my foot slips open.
Yeah, you can fish right off that
There's gotta be
peninsula.
a way to say
You can put a
contact.
boat in. They only ask that you don't fish down here at the beach. So fish hooks, obvious reasons.
I have a 13-year-old who just.
Oh, yeah, they fish off the road up
I
there.
just wondered if these other 2 spots would allow for fishing.
Who's ever asked that?
What's that?
People fish at the other boat launches?
I haven't heard anybody.
I haven't heard anybody ever do it. The only time people complain is when they find fish.
You are required to have a fishing license.
Yes.
We'll get
Because
some.
unfortunately, the state of Michigan owns the lake.
Yeah, we do. So I
No,
just,
that's fine.
my 13-year-old just got his first fishing pole, got his license, and so he's been down here a couple times, but we didn't know if there were other places.
Yeah.
We're with him, of course, we don't, he doesn't know.
Well, thank you for coming.
Yes, so I guess I'm just wondering, we just had,
Anyhow, welcome to Lakes and Green.
we just had 11 people on our property.
Okay.
And if you guys are looking for services about out of Flint, we just started a year ago, we did an awesome job. Just incredible.
The rest of us on things.
Well, we only went to, but these were so big, they were entangled in other trees.
Yeah.
And so
I got a couple trees I'm a little reluctant, and I've been cutting all my life, but
I can give you his name. He was super reasonable. I mean, so what he did for us would have been 3 or 4 times what he charged us.
anyway, no, I
I was like, when he said his price, I was like, just because they were dead elm trees,
Okay.
and entangled in other trees. So anyway, but thank you for, what did you name?
Phil Boyd.
Okay.
I'm on Small Lake, on East Lake Circle Road.
We're up here. So that's why I was asking.
East Lake Circle Road. See,
Our property. So we're on.
Foothill. Okay.
So this is all old, but then when you get here, our property goes up here. So I get to know, up in the court, it doesn't even look, there's like one trailer back here.
Yeah.
And this road is almost not real accessible.
Yeah, I know. I'll tell you, the brush hog, I've been here 28 years. So when they do the brush hog, it definitely makes a difference. It really does.
So I was just wondering, like, because we haven't quite figured out we have a survey where there's no stakes that we've done. You know, where our properties are.
The original,
Where this, so there's 215, which is a vacant lot. And that's where ours ends and that one starts, but like there's less than that.
We finished the meeting in under.
did they give you a copy of your survey then?
I know.
That's how I did, like with my brother-in-law. We couldn't find nothing either. But I took my GPS, I took the coordinates, and I marked it. And then I went to the next coordinates. And it's pretty accurate. But technically, there's supposed to be a steel peg down in the ground. So, and that's when they take a finder, you know, metal finder.
Well, if there is, it's so.
Yeah,
I
either
was
you.
just more concerned about what our.
Not like high but like.
You're not sure where you're at yet.
I don't even know where's our property ends at, and I know that there's little to no maintenance on any of this.
Yeah. We had flooding back in.
Nobody there, yeah. Most people just enjoy it. They just-
I mean, all of this.
I'm down to like this much paper. I'm like, oh my god, please tell me I have enough paper, because last time I ran out of ink. This time I'm not out of ink.
And then Thunder Bay was
Oh, I know. That's the first time.
I called and talked to them.
Did you?
And you have your new budget, so you
We
pull
got
that,
the letter.
those receipts.
We called consumers.
Separate from your this year's.
And they were really nice.
Yeah.
And they actually came out, I expressed my concern. They came out and the guy called me there, property and talked about. What is our office? So it's really helpful.
That's good.
Sometimes you just pick up the phone and.
For years and years and years, they come out here, consumers, and they'll spray blue on the trees. They have them cut down. You'll never see them again.
Well, I asked, we noticed that when we looked at the property before we had made an offer. Anyway, I think I talked to Dan by email and I said, what are all these things done?
I need to computer. That computer will not
That's what he said, well.
They never follow through.
Now, consumers do tell me that 45 years from now, they are scheduled to come out and cut these.
I heard that.
That's what consumers told me.
Yeah.
I have.
You gotta go
I
on
hope
that.
they do.
I don't know, what do you wanna do?
We lose electric out here a lot. Yeah, nice meeting you.
I get around, I'll take it for a test ride.
I wanted to be over here with you.
Hey, Randy.
Nice seeing you.
Good seeing you volunteer. I've got all of these emails.
Yeah.
We don't even use our big mail those, but, actually, we have. That's perfect, that's the copy of our email. We have the right address for you. Okay, perfect. So if you want to get an email on here, we can,
Not like
use your email list when we have changes in our loads and things like that.
fill it into a room. He's been working a lot. But when the state declares an exam, though, that doesn't fit the state requirements of.
Did you notice my agenda was missing from the front bulletin board? I don't know. It was there, and then yesterday when we went out, it was gone. And I was on my way out, I didn't have another copy. I have my ideas. It's probably the same person that's taking down the business cards.
So what, maybe we can be accepted wise,
We have set a few individuals in here
have enough
trying
way,
to
way you talk.
association.
The county might have this new bill going through the state. Now,
I think since we're established that, it should be on the federal government.
No different.
They should be the ones that fix
Well, that kind of thing, period. It's the-
They established it, we didn't